YouTube? Kawasaki here. What is going on? Alright, first things first, this is going to be a video review of the 2009 Kawasaki Ninja 650R and my experiences in riding it over the past 3 months, and I'll let you know what I think. Some of you may know that I used to ride a Honda CBR, and I downgraded from a 4-cylinder to a 2-cylinder. And it's got to be one of the best things I've ever done. I know a lot of you guys are fans of 4-cylinders. The vast majority of sports bike riders ride 4-cylinder 600s to 1000s, but with my experience when I owned my when I had my CBR, the power band was sort of unnecessary. The speed was crazy, but regardless, I'm not going to get into that right now, but I'll get into that later. But basically, the reason why I got the Ninja 650 was because the amount of torque it has. This bike is extremely torquey. It's great for getting around town, which is what I do, and for my favorite type of riding, which is twisties. I really enjoy canyon carving and going on rides with people. And this bike does everything you need. It's a semi-upright seating position. I don't mind the upright seating position. I'd probably prefer to be more of a sporty area, and I'm probably going to get some aftermarket handlebars for it later, so I have more of a sporty position. But as of right now, the transition from being slouched forward on my CBR to being sitting upright was pretty easy to get over. Let's go, come on. Okay. Okay, so let me go over the pros and cons of this bike. The pros is that it's got decent power. You're pretty much gonna hose any car that you come up against, so if you need to get away from the cagers, it's pretty easy to do. It's got an amazing fuel efficiency. If I throttle it, and ride it really hard, I tend to get about 45, 46 miles per gallon. And if I'm really conservative, I can get anywhere upwards to 50 and 60 miles per gallon. If I drive like a grandfather. I tend to drive like a grandfather so that I can go farther in the tank. Like, you can see my fuel lights flashing already, but yeah, it gets really good gas mileage. Whoa, slow down. Don't want to die. Wow, look at that car. That thing looks weird. I wonder if they get a lot of bugs in the face. Let's get closer so you can see it. And yes, this is California, so lane splitting's legal. Interesting. Well, as you just saw there, torque. I had my mechanic check it when I first got it, and he'd never been on a parallel twin, and he said he felt as though it had the torque of a 1000cc bike and a lower revs. I've never been on a 1000, so I can't say if it's that or not. I do notice a significant difference from the CBR. As for top speed and for keeping up with 600s, this bike does a great job of doing that. That's another pro, is that, I mean, of course, it's not a 4-cylinder. You're not going to be able to do 150 down the freeway. The takeoff speed, you're good with 600s usually until about 40 miles an hour, and then they leave you behind. However, if you want a bike for straightaways and you're just doing straight riding, going in a straight line forever, then yeah, I mean, get a 600, get a 1000, get something that you can go really fast in. But if you're like me and you like to do canyon carving, or you like to do lots of twisties, or your commute is in the woods or whatever, you need to get a bike that's got a lot of torque and that can handle twisties just as well as a 600, but have more power in the lower end revs, which is what you're going to be in, because you're going to be going slower around corners. A good example was, if you guys watched my previous videos, the curb unit ride that we did last weekend. In that ride, there was the video that I recorded was on the ride back, but on the ride up, it was I don't know. On the ride up, we separated into 3 groups. There was beginner, intermediate, and advanced. And I've been riding for about 2 years, so I consider myself intermediate. So I went with the intermediate group. There was a bunch of people in the intermediate group, anywhere from 250s to 1000s. And basically, as the ride started, we started in a straightaway. The 1000s and 600s blew away the 500 that I was stuck behind, and then the 250 was behind me, and they didn't get more than a mile ahead of us at a time. What am I saying, a mile? Probably about a quarter of a mile. But like I said, it was a group ride, and they'd stop and we'd regroup and then we'd go again. But however, when we went to when we made it to the hard steep corners, that's when it was kind of pathetic, actually, because we started the ride. The slower group started in the back, and I was stuck again behind the 400, and then, or 500, sorry. And then when I passed the 500, the 600 group was all way ahead, yet I managed to catch up with them. And these are all pretty good riders. These guys are going, I don't know, 80 around 40 mile an hour corners. I mean, that's double the speed limit, and I was managing to keep up with them. And it's not that I could keep up with them, but I actually caught them, and I was pretty far behind. And again, I'm on a parallel twin, and I'm not saying you could do that with every rider. I'm sure a really experienced 600 cc rider can do it, but as for the 650, it's got some great torque. So a 650 with a semi-experienced rider against a 600 with a semi-experienced rider, chances are the 650 will take it with the curbs. There's just so much torque and so much turning power. There's no competition. So yeah, I'll go really quick over the pros and cons. So the pros are, it's a nice looking bike. It looks great. The older 2008 model and below are kind of ugly, but the 2009 and above just look amazing. The headlights are awesome. It's just a good bike. It's got a lot of torque. It's great for fuel efficiency, and the upright sitting position is fantastic. And it takes corners really well. In fact, a lot better than you'd think. I'm trying to think of more. The digital display is nice. As you can see, it's got a full digital display, no analog at all. It's got emergency LEDs, or emergency flashers in case you ever get pulled over or whatever. And yeah, it's generally pretty good. The cons on this bike, it's very heavy. It weighs about 400 and, don't quote me on this, but around 420 pounds. It's pretty heavy for a two-cylinder. The fairings are ridiculous to get off. When I installed my frame sliders over here, it took me literally about 2 hours just to get the front fairing off, because there is no side fairings on this bike. It's all one big fairing connected with the headlights and the front and everything. It all comes right off, and it is a major pain in the ass. So heavy is a con, the fairing's a con. That's pretty much it. I mean, honestly, there's not many other cons. I guess another con would be that it's a bit of a smaller tire in the rear than a 600. I don't know the measurement of the length. I just know that it's a way smaller tire. Well, not way, but a smaller tire than the CBR's tire was. And I'm not a scientist. I'm not a racetrack rider. I don't know if that makes a major difference. I'm sure on the track it does, but on the street and from what I've experienced with riding it, it makes absolutely no difference to me. I still ride just as well with a smaller tire than I do with a bigger tire, so I don't really know if that's a pro or a con. I do know for one fact that the smaller the tire, the better the gas mileage. So that's probably another reason why I get such good gas mileage. But yeah, that's basically my review. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I'll be happy to answer your questions. And yeah, thanks for watching.